Good morning. I have to head off to work in a little bit. Before I do, I have to unload the car because there's a quad in the back. Good morning. So today we're going to start getting into the mini quad project. Start tearing it down, find out what it really needs and what needs to be done to make it run. I have some idea, but I haven't got into it yet. So it's, I don't know, 50 degrees last weekend in October. It's been raining, so everything's wet. As you can see, the pond is filled back up. What I've got to do though is I've got to clean up around here a little bit. I've been accumulating some stuff. I need to make some space to work. So I think we'll start there, and then we'll see what we can do. I think the first thing we're going to do is crank it and see if it'll start. But I got to get something on the battery. That was left on, that's going to be dead. Alright, well, that battery is starting to take a charge. It was left on. Let's take a closer look at what we have here. So I don't know what plug would go in there. Hard to make out what that sprocket. It's a 420 chain. We can see that. How many teeth? Let's start here. 1, 2, 3, 14 tooth sprocket, so again, pretty standard. On the front, don't know on the back, don't see any markings. Rear shock, there's a bit of a bend in the shock, and this looks like the electric for what was a tail light. Obviously the plastics are pretty bumped around here. We'll take those off, see what we can do. This is the starter button. Kind of interesting. Okay, yeah, because there's no... I guess that is the starter button, so somebody has rewired a little bit. Headlight, we'll see if that works. Key on off. There's our carb, pretty standard for what I see on these little Tao Tao type units. And I see pieces. Looks like the air filter is off. Check the oil. Oil looks pretty clean. And seems to be enough of it. Tires are all holding air. There's hydraulic brakes in the rear. And the pads are moving. And up front, double wishbone, drum brakes. Seem like they have play. front shock. Can't imagine that's doing much of anything at this point. That's pretty well rusted up. And this shock, if it's not snapped up there, it looks like it might be. It's at least bent. So mechanically, that's what it looks like. We'll crank it, see if it starts, and from there we'll start figuring out what we'll do next. Everything fell apart again. Isn't that just the way? Cranks, no fire. All right. Alright, crank, no fire. I think what we're going to do is we're going to take the plastics off so we can kind of get under here, get a little closer, see what's going on, take a look at that carb. So we'll start there. Alright, so we took the body off, so now we can kind of start to see what we have here. Here's our voltage regulator. Under here you can see they have done a little bit of work on the wiring. They've put new wires across the ignition coil that run up to this starter button on the side, rather than the original starter button here, which comes through this harness, and I'm suspecting ran in here, but we'll have to take a little bit more of a look. But now that we have this opened up a bit, let's take a closer look at what's here, what's missing. I'm not sure what that guy is. Maybe that's... I'm going to guess under here this is shorted together. Closed. I don't know if there was a safety switch, something. And if I clean this up, I think I'll be able to figure out what models actually this was. I think the next thing that's going to make the most sense here is to check for spark. So I'm going to pull the plug, we'll crank it, and we'll see what we get. If you can see that, that is a black plug. Really fouled. Pretty standard plug for these, the CR7 HSA, so easy to get your hands on. Alright, I'm just going to touch this to the frame somewhere where I'll be able to see it, where we're not right next to the gas can. I think that should work. And let's get some juice hooked back up here in such a way that I don't, again, short myself. Somewhere I have my ignition dangling in here. There it is, dangling down the middle. That's off. That's on. We have spark. Plenty good spark. Put a little starter right down the throat. Still don't know the condition of this carb. I I think next thing I'm going to do is drain the bowl by opening up this screw. I'm not sure she'd be able to fire flooded out this bad. Give her a crank, see if she fires. And in case the clutch decides to grab, probably best I don't have wiring all on the wheel. Ew. Switch is on, key is on. See if she fires. You heard her try. .75 amp. Up. You tried. Alright, hooking the battery up, and I'm just going to bungee it. So if this thing vibrates, I don't, if I can help it not vibrate the battery right off the chassis here. Now, I know we have a really yucky plug. That might be the next thing we do here. So we have spark, not great spark. See if I have another plug.